Everybody is touched by music. Sound healing is the language of our soul. It bypasses the mind and goes straight to our heart, to the source, just to find what has always been there but has been forgotten. Today, we will go through a process of connecting and balancing ourselves through sound healing.
We are Whitefeather and Ori, musicians and healers, teaching and performing in Israel and around the world. Created the first spiritual festival in Israel 17 years ago. We have founded the Remembrance Academy here in Israel and created a new modality called Remembrance, which is healing with crystal balls, sound, and sacred geometry based on ancient knowledge.
We are very excited to be with you. It is our privilege. After a very deep awakening and the remembrance experience I had 10 years ago, I can say from a personal experience that in each and every one of us, there is a divine source, and this is who we truly are. When we connect to that source, we remember that we are not humans having spiritual experiences, but we are souls having a human experience. So we invite you today to join us on an inner remembrance journey through sound healing. I will play the crystal balls and channel information through my singing, or we will play the African harp and the hung drum. So please close your eyes and take a deep breath. Breathe deeply and slowly and let your body relax. Let your breath guide you inwards, deeper and deeper, into a full presence. Let this opportunity be the connection between you and all life. Breathe in and out effortlessly into the softest place within you. A place of non-resistance, only presence, unity, expansion. Let yourself surrender to this moment. Nothing to do, just be. The divine is within you. With each breath, you are connected to everyone and everything. Feel this resonance expands in your being. Stay inside, because it is here that you can experience who you truly are. We take a deep breath. A breath of gratitude. Thanking every cell in our body. Feeling gratitude. Being gratitude. Slowly, slowly, we bring our consciousness in, fully into our body. Breathing into our heart, into our palms and feet. And we open our eyes gently, remembering more of who we are.
We bless you with unconditional love. If you choose to receive more of this experience and have enjoyed the sounds, we would be honored to send you more. Thank you for being. In Hebrew we say Hodaya, gratitude. Hodaya.
Hodaya.
Hi there, welcome to another presentation of the Sound Healing Conference. Now we have Whitefeather. Hi, Whitefeather.
Hello, David. How are you?
Great, welcome, welcome.
Thank you
Whitefeather
so much
is
for inviting us.
nice. Whitefeather's a visionary healer, an international teacher, speaker, musician, and quantum singer for Ascension. She works with vocals and crystal bowls and Hebrew mantras, guiding souls to remember their soul purpose and journey. What have you been up to lately?
Oh my God. A lot. 30 years of really, finding this path and being in deep gratitude for having the sound healing, finding me on this path, you know? So
Excellent.
yeah, been doing a lot of work with sound healing and finding my voice as a part of my journey. It's not like I was a singer or anything like that. I went through a very deep journey, and through my inner journey, just started to working with my voice intuitively. And then I started working with the crystal balls and finding that I can do something that I love to call it sound surfing.
Surfing to the sky. I love it. I love it. Okay,
I'm
so
a surfer.
so here's the big question. If you had all the money in the world, what would you do to help people on the planet?
Wow. That's that's a really big question, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I've been thinking about it a lot, and I like working with women, empowering women, because I believe in the women power to change the world. And that's why I work a lot with women and using the sound to connect women to their essence, to their femininity. And this is something that I feel is needed in this world, and this is something I would do and anywhere, places that people that women of course need of help, but then help them to see that their help is needed.
Mm-hmm.
So when your help is needed and you have a meaning to life, then everything is changing. That's
Beautiful.
what I believe. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, tell us about your presentation.
Well, I wanted to talk today. I have so many things to talk about, but I had to choose, of course. But it's something that I love the most, which is what is happening in this world at the moment, and ascension-wise, because we hear it all the time, in in Israel, it's a big thing. I don't know about other countries. I know that there's a lot of teachers all over the world, that everybody's talking about moving to fourth dimension, fifth dimension, and more. And realizing that there is a big shift of consciousness. And I want to talk about that shift and our journey as individuals and as a collective, and through sound, and how quantum singing is something that can help us do that and connect to our heart consciousness, and how to receive information through from higher dimensions, from our galactic families, from our guides, from source, and working through something called sine wave. Probably a lot of people have heard about it here in this conference, as a tool to receive downloads as codes of healing, codes of ascension, and all about our intention, about the power of our intention and the power of our consciousness and the power of us working through our heart and really activating that within us.
I love it. I think it's the most important thing there is, exactly what you're talking about. I mean, so many people can get to a place of peace, and a lot of people can even open their heart pretty easily, right? But to open up the sky and open up to higher realms where all is known, right? And light just comes pouring in.
Yeah.
It's really the whole deal. Like I mentioned in another presentation, I've been to sound baths that are kind of cool. And then I've been to others where it's like white light everywhere. And it's just like, whoa, what's going on? Okay, cancer gone, this gone. That's like mass healings. It's like, what is going on? And that's like, it's just that little ding.
Yeah, this is the tune. It's like when you tune any instrument, we can tune our instrument with the power of our intention, and and connecting to our center and to our heart. But I really believe that connecting to our heart is a door, is a pathway, and it's this downloads. What's amazing about it is this light that we call a light. This is sound, and it's everything. And this love and this abundance and this blessing that is pouring onto us, it's actually pouring onto us all the time. It's just that we need to be vessels of accepting that beautiful energy to come into our life, and being a vessel of receiving that is, we call it in Hebrew, itbatlut, which means that we have to I think you say alienate and annihilate,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, our identity.
Mm-hmm. Our ego.
When you annihilate your identity, when you use sound as a quantum singer or as a musician, then this thing is coming as more as you annihilate this. How do you call it in there's many words for it, because you can call it this identity is something that is born and dies, but when you annihilate it, then you can connect to the part of you that is eternal, and this part of you that is eternal is in acceptance mode all the time. And when you connect to that part, then what, everything is there, everything, all the beauty, all the abundance, all the love. And when we do that for ourselves, we are actually inspiration for others to connect to that. And that's what is touching us, because we are reflections of each other. And when we meet someone that is annihilating that identity and bringing this light, we feel it as one. And when we feel that oneness, then when healing occurs, because it's beyond time, it's beyond space, it's beyond our body, and it's beyond the limitation of time and space and identity.
It's really cool because it's not like I was thinking, how do you teach someone that's a newbie that's never done it before? But then I just thought, we've all done it before. That's where we came from.
Exactly.
It's not like we're not, nobody's a newbie.
Exactly. Yeah, we just need that's we need to remember. That's why I call my therapy sessions and our academy, I call it remembrance, because we're actually really remembering, but we have to realize that there is two kinds of remembering. There is the identity remembering of the past, our past lives, our family karma, whatever we remember from our past is to remember. But remembrance is the remembrance of the soul. It is not on a timeline. It is all timelines. It is always been here. It is remembrance of your soul journey. It's remembrance of who you really are beyond these limitations of body and identity. And sound is so amazing because it's actually letting us connect to this part that is beyond identity. And as the vessel is more in an option of annihilating as much as possible of the identity, then it can be more open to receive more light. So it doesn't matter if it's you or me, as long as we are in the same space together, we will remember. And it doesn't matter if we did meditations before or anything. It's really amazing, because so many amazing stories about people, I teach my modality in France, and when people come to the supervision to try with the crystal balls to receive the healing, it's people that never made even a meditation in their life, and when we start working with them, in the end of the session of the healing, and when they start sharing, and people say, I felt peace, I saw geometric, and it's like, and you hear their experience, and you say, oh my God, it sounds like they're always done this, but they say, but it's the first time I've ever experienced something like this. And so actually it's remembering. It's beautiful.
I love it.
Yeah.
I often think of the soul as the frequency where you're at peace in your body, which is really your metabolism, an average of your heart rate and brainwave rate when you're at peace, completely still.
That's beautiful. That's the coherence.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and the heart and the mind is working together. It's in the coherent, and then really everything is opening up. It's the optimal coherent is 0.001. I think it's a frequency, right? And then a lot of time, most of the humanity is working through the mind. So it's not really, you said a lot of people connected to the heart, and I think, I don't know, I wish. I mean, people like us and people that we work with, people that are listening, right? But if we talk about humanity as at the moment is what is going on, it's like our mind is really controlling what is happening, and that's why we feel separation in a global family, in our collective field, but us as empaths, people that are here, very open, very sensitive, we feel this energy. A lot of time it's affecting us. So I think it's the opportunity for us to really go beyond it is to dive deep into our heart through the sound. And I imagine the heart like a doorway, like in the middle of the heart. And this is also what I teach. I believe, and also it's an old ancient prophecy about something called the fifth chamber of the heart. And did you hear about that? Because the bees they have a fifth chamber, right? Because they're humming in high vibrations. And they say that as we develop, we change the body, we become more crystalline, and we develop the fifth chamber of our heart. And it's like the heart consciousness, and it's a doorway of receiving this light and a doorway of connecting to higher realms and our galactic families and connecting to our Oversoul. And, you know, it's a network of everything that has been here and all our experiences before in all lifetimes, in all dimensions. And this Oversoul is compassing all of that. And every time that we're connecting to our heart consciousness and to this fifth chamber in the middle of our heart, and we just go inside it and dive into it, something opens up that is beyond our mind. Our mind cannot explain it. And you know, a lot of people that, well, most people don't work with sound, they will always try to change the mind and to reprogram the mind. And I think there is no program for that in the mind.
Mhm.
There is no program. We can't. Maybe we can change our emotions or change our thoughts. Definitely, yeah.
So you don't get stuck. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you want to really connect to your Oversoul network, you want to connect to your soul, to your essence, then the heart is our doorway, you know?
Yeah. The mind is good to lead you. Often think of it as the mind's good to lead you to the end of the branch, and then you cut it off. That's what the mind's good for, right? So you can drop down into your heart, right?
Exactly.
So you get the mind to figure out all the different ways to get out of it. That's what it's good for. All the different ways to get out of it. Which one is interesting? One that I've been thinking about a lot in another presentation is, it's amazing how sadness takes you out of the mind into your feeling body where the heart is.
Exactly.
So I've been thinking of, you know, that's
It's not
because
only
so many people are scared of sadness.
Exactly. And you know, in Hebrew, I have to talk about Hebrew a little bit because really it's an encoded language, which is very powerful. And that's why I sing Hebrew mantras. And in Hebrew, the word emotion is regesh. And regesh is the same letters of gesher. You hear that? Regesh, gesher, which gesher is a bridge. Okay? So the emotion is a bridge. It's a bridge between, you know, the mind. It's a bridge between the body and the soul. It's a bridge between the third dimension, fourth and fifth dimension. It's a bridge. And using emotions as a bridge is something that nobody taught us. And we all the time, you know, the problem is that we don't want to feel bad emotions, like bad and not really
or
bad.
get stuck in them, right?
Yeah, but we get stuck in them because we are fighting them, because we don't accept them. We think something is wrong and we want to fix it. But if emotion comes and you feel, okay, this energy is coming through me. Yeah, I can recognize it as sadness. And I don't mind feeling it, but I don't connect it to a story. And when we don't connect it to the story, then there is no suffering. There is only sadness, you know, and sadness is okay, you know, it's not bad. But when you connect it to the story, what happened and why you're sad, and then it becomes suffering. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
that's the difference between and right?
Exactly.
Because sadness is actually a sweet song. Sadness isn't. Sadness is. It's beautiful.
Oh, that's so beautiful. How you did that. It's so beautiful. And yeah, exactly. It's like children, you know, it's so pure. We just add on to it so many things that we collected on the way. And it's like, just let go of these things that we collected and just connect to this moment. And actually, you know, let yourself immerse in the unknown. Because when you feel any emotions, you want to know why you feel it. And wanting to know why is looking for the story, is actually taking you from the moment and taking you from the possibility of feeling this emotion at the moment and actually transforming it and growing through it and letting more light come through you. And it's like we're missing out every time that there is what we call negative emotion, because we want to know why is it happening, why, because we feel that if we know why, then we can relax. But actually it's a lie, because we're not relaxing. Not at all. When we know why, when we find the story, we start dwelling on it and, you know, repeating it in a repetitive way, and we actually really hurting ourselves, you know. But moving into the spirit zone and through the sound is more in a feminine energy, is to be soft with yourself, to be compassion with yourself, and to be round, containing who you are, what is. And as you do that and you're more in the moment, and you can accept what is, and you can contain it, if it came into your way, it's perfect.
Nice.
There's no mistakes in the universe. It's always accurate. And it's so beautiful. And, you know, when I started finding sound in my life, I had you can call it, I don't know, if you call it in conventional world, they will call it a nervous breakdown. In the spiritual world, they will call it an awakening. Okay. I lost a lot of money because I was, I don't know, the biggest spiritual producer in Israel, and I had this huge festival, 1,000 people, and I lost a lot of money, and it broke my ego. Okay, like, oh my God, I failed, you know, and it was broken into pieces. And the moment it was broken into pieces, and I couldn't actually, you know, lift them up, there was too many pieces. Then I said, okay, and I will go and, you know, into nature. And I had behind my house a little mud house. So I went to sit in this mud house, and I thought, okay, I'll go for a week, maybe 2 weeks. Although it was very scary, you know, everybody knows that to be alone in nature, it's not something that everybody does. I know for so long, because we are, you know, we love people. I love people, you know, and to be alone was very scary for me because I was all the time around people. And it started with 2 weeks, and then it was going so deep that I couldn't stop it. And I started getting guidance and releasing all my past, all the stories, everything that I was holding on to. And at that time, my partner, you say in English, spouse, right? He came to my mud house after a few weeks, and he said, look, I got a crystal ball from a friend, and he said, we can have it for a while, so maybe you want to use it. And I said, no, I don't want to use it. He said, okay, I will leave it here in your mud house, you know. And he left it. And the day passed, and I felt she was calling me, you know. She was calling to tell me, come, take me. And I said, yeah, but I saw someone play with it and I didn't connect. And she said, no, but it's different every time. And I said, okay, I'll give it a try. So I took it and I started playing with it. And it was my frosted, white frosted ball. And I started playing with it and investigating, you know, what it does to me and and at that moment, I was almost completely out of my body. I couldn't function in the daily life. I was in different dimensions. I was seeing things, I was hearing music, and I couldn't talk like we talk now and explain what I was going through, because I was really going through a very deep awakening and bliss and feeling really the unity, but I couldn't connect the spirit with matter, with life. I couldn't bring the light into my everyday life. It was like I was there and the light was there, and I couldn't see it, you know, down here. And then when I took the ball, started working with it, slowly, what it did to me was bringing me back into my body. And as it was doing that, I started understanding what it's doing, because I never worked with it like that. And then starting to use my voice as a request, an inner request. And I noticed that the crystal ball, it has a wave, and all I need is to jump on that wave. And when I jump on the wave and I surf on it, then we become, at one point, we become one. And it's happening when I annihilate my identity completely, and I become one with the ball, with the sound, with the sine wave of the crystal ball. And then the information that came, and I started working with it and playing for people. I didn't really know what I was doing. And every time I was playing for people and singing, and people say, started to cry. And I said, what is happening here? And I said, I don't know. I just remember my mother. I just remember my past life. And then I started, hearing it again and again and again. I said, oh my God, I can't not give it place because it's a gift. I just received the gift. And with this gift, I received it to give it. We don't receive gifts for ourselves. We receive gifts, so we give them. And so I started to do it more and more, and bringing into my workshops and retreats and creating everything that I do now. And I noticed that some movements of the sound, they take me to really high realms, and then others, they bring me back to the body. And then it's the movement is like bringing the light and bringing it into the body, like anchoring it. It's not just like bringing it, it's anchoring it into my body and into whoever is listening and open to that. And then I realized that actually what I thought was, that going high into the spirituality is like, wow, it's so spiritual. For me, I'm feeling God, I'm in oneness, but it's not what I came here for. It was 15 years ago. I didn't come to this world in this body to go back, because I came here to do something. I came here, and this present that I received through this breakdown or through this awakening, it came for me to gift it away. And I thought, okay, then now that I'm anchoring it, it's like when we say ascension, there is descension. And the descension is actually anchoring the light into our body, and then embodiment is actually living the light in our day-to-day life. So it's ascension, descension, and embodiment. So I got as above, so below, so within, to live this light. And it's the merging of our soul and our body together as a vessel for the soul, for the light. And this is actually what is helping us to grow, to evolve, to ascend, and remember more and more and more. And our body is changing. Our body is being more and more crystalline. So the quantum singing is actually, as I did it, I started investigating it more and more, and how it's affecting people, how it's affecting animals, how it's affecting children. And actually children are amazing, children remember straight away. They connect to the heart straight away, and for people, sometimes it takes a little bit more, not a lot, but it takes a little bit more, because they need to a little bit slowing their mind and to devote to this, for a moment. And then when they devote to it for a moment, and I saw something beautiful born within them. It's like, it's like their inner lotus flower is just opening up, and it's open up in me every time, again and again. And it's such a blessing. I'm so privileged to have this gift. And it's like, when everything is in the world, is connected, and we call it the quantum field. And when we close our eyes and we make music like you do, or we sing the quantum singing, or whatever we do, and exactly what I say now, I know. And when we close our eyes and we connect to our heart, and we connect to our soul, and we connect to the quantum field, and then from that connection, we are putting our identity at the aside, then this beautiful energy and information is coming, and it's different every time.
So, you going to share an experience with us of that?
Would you like that?
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, with this crystal ball, it's a little bit easier than the frosted because it's easier to hold it. And I would like to invite you to sit comfortably and take a deep breath from your nose and nostrils, release from your mouth. I'll do it another, couple of times more. Releasing tension in the body, releasing with every breath, worry, fear, resistance. Take another breath.
Turn on your original sound.
Take a deep breath. Breathing in and out, gratitude. Put your right hand on your heart, your left hand on your right hand. Breathe in gratitude into your heart. Gratitude to your soul, your oversoul, your higher self, your soul star, your galactic family, your spirit guides, and source of all. Hodaya, gratitude. We bring our consciousness back to our body, fully anchored and in harmony. Take another breath and move our hands, our feet, and take our hands into Namaste in front of our heart. We bring in a smile, an inner smile, an outer smile. Being gratitude for this moment. Gratitude for the space that you created here together with us. The space that's been created here in your heart in this moment. And this moment is the moment where we ascend, where we accept what is, and we accept to not know. When we accept to not know, we are opening ourselves into the new. I invite us to breathe into the middle of our heart, into our fifth chamber of the heart. And breathe it in and put the intention of breathing in codes of your ascension journey. Everything is codes, like everything is healing, like everything is sound. And we accept it into our heart. Remembering the power of our consciousness, the power of our intention. And take another breath of gratitude and we'll open our eyes gently. Try to feel when you're coming back that you didn't go anywhere and you're not coming back anywhere. That this is merging within you, this feeling. Sometimes when we feel that we are going somewhere and then we have to come back, sometimes we don't want to come back, right? Imagine that when we come back, we realize that this part of us here has gone with us. And when we're coming back, we are merging with it. We're bringing this light into our body. And we talked before about emotions. And it's something really important for us, how to feel emotions without connecting it to a story. One of the protocols that I use and I received from one of my beautiful teachers, Matt Kahn, is just saying, in spite of my resistance or in spite of my sadness, my heart wants to stay open. And we can change every time the word, in spite of, my heart wants to stay open. Because when we are saying that, we're actually merging the two worlds. We're actually being in something we call super state. Super state is when you can feel sadness, but you can also feel unity at the same time. You can feel anger, but you can also feel excited at the same time. And we see that in children. Children can have contrast emotions, as we call them, contrast, because we can't feel love and anger. That's what we think. But imagine we can feel them at the same time. We see children do that, right? That means that it's possible. And we can do that with a ascension journey, with a connection to our heart, with a connection to our soul and to our Oversoul network. And as we connect to our Oversoul network, which is holding all the remembrance, all the wisdom of the soul, of everything we've been, are, and will be, the essence of the light that we are, when we connect to that Oversoul network, then we're actually connecting to our, you can call it multi-dimensional being that we are, as spiritual being, as a physical being, as, okay, we are so many, there is so many parts of us, and we are in many places at the same time as parallel realities, in parallel realities. So we are accepting that these two worlds can live together. When we do that, we are merging, and we're actually closing the gap that is causing us pain. This gap is when we are connecting to the spirit, and then we're coming back, and then, you know, we're driving, I don't know, going somewhere, and then somebody cuts us in the road, or, you know, and it's like, what is this contrast? And if we look at this contrast, and instead of taking it personally in a way that we connect it to a story and what it means about us, and we just connecting to our heart at that moment, we can find compassion. Like we find compassion for ourselves, we can find compassion for others. And when we do that, we are closing the gap between the worlds of upper world and, you know, and the world of being a human. And we're actually remembering that we are soul in a human experience. Okay, some call it experiment even. It's an experience, and it's as more as we are connected to this part, we start to enjoy it, you know. Some people, they say, you know, in my retreats and workshops, and I say, you know, would you like to come for another reincarnation to this world? And they're all like, no, we don't want to come back here. And I say, maybe we're a little confused because some of us, it doesn't mean that if we come back here, we come back to the same story, to the same lesson that we didn't do. It's not the only option. There is another option. We can come back here and bring the light that we merged. You know, we can come back here for so many reasons, not only to correct our soul journey here. We call it correct in the Kabbalah, you know, tikkun. Because moving towards our Wholeness is working on our expressions of divinity that every one of us has. Expressions of divinity is generosity, compassion, love, patience. This is actually things that we are all working on, and we want to bring it more and more into our world. And as we do that, our world starting to become heaven on earth. As more as we do that, it's heaven on earth. So how do we close the gap in the ascension journey? We are working to go on the bridge of four-dimensional bridge. We are using emotion. Remember, as I said in Hebrew, emotion, regesh, is gesher, is a bridge. So we know that emotion is a bridge. All the words in Hebrew have few meanings, and the meanings are always aligned with the higher journey of the soul. So learning to connect to your emotions without the story and leaving your heart open is one of the most powerful ways to open a portal that is called your heart consciousness. As more as you work with emotions and accepting the emotions, knowing how to feel them, you know when you take ice and you put it, in a pot on fire, and then slowly it becomes water, and then it becomes a boiling water, and then becomes steamed water, right? It's changing. It's actually changing. It's transforming. It's changing vibration. It's changing function, okay? And emotions is the same. First, it's like ice, and we feel that in our body. And as we start to accept it and give it a space, because in every one of us, there is an inner child that wants to be acknowledged and want to be seen. And this is the pain that we all hold in ourselves. And this is the emotions that we carry. And as we work with these dense emotions through the sounds, through accepting it, even just saying, I accept it. I'm okay with this emotion. Okay. And we can't lie to the universe, but we really have to be okay with it. So, because it's all vibration, all the world is vibration. If you are not okay with it, the universe won't accept the vibration of it. You can say, I'm okay with something, but if you don't really feel it, then the vibration of the heart is not being sent to the quantum field, and the quantum field won't send you back the vibration that you want. Okay? So we are working with the heart from ice, dense emotion, accepting the emotion, making boiling water, like you feel, you want to cry, you feel the anger, you feel the pain, you feel, this is the boiling water. And then there is the steam. The steam is when the emotion is ascending, okay? And when the emotion is ascending, it's actually wanting, the source of the emotion is wanting to ascend. It's wanting to go back to the light. It's like every sound is wanting to go back to one sound, right? So every emotion wants to go back to the light, wants to go back home, wants to go back to the source, because there's only one source. So everything wants to go back there, even our emotions. And the journey of ascension is going through the heart and the heart consciousness. And as we go through the heart consciousness, we are ascending our emotions, and we are ascending our body, and we are ascending consciousness. And we're actually going back home, going back to the source. And if we feel, when we're there, to volunteer again and come here, why not? Really, I say, why not? It's not punishment to be here. It's amazing to be here. We can feel, we can dance, we can touch, we can laugh, we can experiment, we can create. My God, this is amazing playground for the soul. We have a body, You know, we can write with it, we can dance with it, we can hug with it. It's an amazing, and I want to change this point of view so we can choose to be here, because the journey of ascension is starting when we choose to be here. And a lot of us, we don't want to choose to be here. We don't want to be here. You know, if we had like a button that we press and we are ascendant into oneness, a lot of people would do that. So if we choose to be here and go through the ascension journey, it is grounded. It is what we came here for. This is the purpose of our soul, to bring the light into the world. How do we do it? Everyone doing it in a different way. But we do it from the small gesture, from smiling to someone, from saying something nice, from blessing, from singing, from creating music, from dancing, working with children, or anything that makes your heart expand. When your heart expands, and you know, you're connecting to your heart consciousness. You know, when I work with women, my heart expands. And I feel their heart expands, and I know there is a connection of like, we know already when we meet people that are changing our lives, that we can have this contract, you know, on the soul level, to go through this journey together. For some contract is short, some contract is long. But when we meet people and we feel at home, we are touched, we feel like our heart expands. It's like, hey, you feel home. Then you know there is a contract, you know, of going a journey together. It's the same with partnerships. It's the same if it's business, if it's love, it's the same if it's your students or your therapy group or whatever, wherever you are. When you feel a heart is expanding, you know that you're in the heart consciousness. Okay. And every day we have the opportunity to ascend. So our soul is giving us experiences. Every experience that comes in our life, our soul is giving it to us. It is not coming to us because we did something wrong or because something is wrong with us or anything like that. It's from our soul. Our soul is always there next to us. It's like, you know, when you believe in your soul, really believe that everything is happening to you for a reason, it's all for your best, then you're actually holding hand to your soul. When we hold hand to our soul, then we can walk together instead of us walking and then where is our soul? Sometimes we feel disconnected. Okay, so I think when we believe, when we trust the journey, when we trust creation, when we trust the source and our higher self, and when we trust, then whatever comes into our life, we accept it. We are not resisting it. We say, okay, it can be hard. You know, we're going sometimes through hard times, all of us. It depends how we're going to go through them, or are we going to let them pass through us, if we're talking about emotions, right? And this is a part of our ascension journey. For me, working with the emotions is, when I use the quantum singing, actually it's bypassing the mind, as you know, as sound is. And it's amazing because it can touch the emotion that is very, very, very deep under so many layers. And when you bring downloads of the codes of ascension, these layers are moving, dissolving slowly, slowly. And then this emotion comes up, or pain, or a memory. And when it comes up for healing. It comes up for preserving it, acknowledging it, holding it, accepting it, loving it. And when we do that, we are helping this dense emotion that we are holding inside of us for so long to ascend. And this is for me the quantum journey, the quantum ascension. When we move to higher dimensions, we are connecting to other parts of ourselves. You know, sometimes when we remember the past, remember how we looked, what we were wearing, what we were thinking, it's not us, right? It's a part of us that is still on that timeline. So the same in a future timeline or higher dimension timeline, there is a part of us that is there. And when we are connecting to our Oversoul, and we're connecting through sound to the codes of ascension, we are actually connecting to that part. And that part is coming closer to us and helping us move towards it. So imagine that you could call a friend that, let's say you want to learn Spanish and you don't know a word, and your friend speaks fluent Spanish, and you call him and you say, hey, could you come and teach me some Spanish? And he comes to you and he teaches you Spanish. You know, it's something you didn't know. And then you're starting to learn from him. So imagine the part of you already knows what you want to know, what you don't, not already, didn't already merge within you, didn't already ascend to. So that part of you in the future is actually wanting you to connect to the moment. But when you do connect to the moment, then you can connect to that part of you, that version, higher version of yourself. And
Nice.
yeah, and this is really, really powerful for our journey at this time in the world. There's so many changes, and we are open to that.
I get this vision of different frequencies, like the higher frequencies of source, right? And the lower frequencies of the body, all at the same time.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
So, and then you could even expand it to all chakras simultaneously,
Exactly.
with the heart as the center.
Yes, yes.
And then you could even expand it to the body frequency or rhythm
Mm-hmm.
and the soul frequency. Alice Bailey says to have that soul frequency be the controller of your whole mental, emotional body. And the main thing, even if you don't know its frequency, the main thing about it is it's so still and stable.
Yes.
It never wobbles. And then source, which is, I think of as all frequencies.
Yes.
So now you got all frequencies, your soul, and then your body.
Yes.
And that's who we are.
Exactly. And that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. And the body, when the body can hold the frequency of the soul, this is the embodiment, this is the ascension. And we want the body to hold the frequency of the soul, because then we can experiment here, enjoy here, and play here. Oh, wow. You know, it's like, and every time it's a little bit more. It's not like one point that, okay, the soul is in the body. It's slowly, it's adjusting us, adjusting. Every time we are releasing something, every time you think something is going wrong and you feel broken, and something is and you start to cry, or you lose someone, or you lose a place or whatever, and you feel, oh, the world is ending. And remember that it's only to clear what is not in your frequency, so you can become a better vessel for your soul frequency. But because we hold on to things, it's very difficult. So we have to remember, and we have to trust. Actually, it's trusting the soul that if this is what is happening to us, then our soul is creating it, and we just have to trust it, that it's the right thing for us.
All is perfect.
Exactly. Exactly.
There's we had a rabbi that taught here, Stephen Fisdale, for years. He just passed away last year, and he was the master of the Kabbalah and written many books on the Kabbalah. And there's one thing that really stuck with me that was really important, and that's the balance of the two sephirods of mercy and discernment. He said, if you don't have a balance or both present, well, discernment turns into criticalness. But that discernment, which is kind of the mind and detailed, is important, because if there's only mercy, which is love, you can be a little wishy-washy.
Yeah, and you actually wouldn't manifest anything.
Right. It's like, and you can be taken advantage of, right? And there's, but when you have the both happening, and it's so interesting to, it's kind of what I look for in people. Are they more just only loving, or are they only discerning, or do they have that balance?
Yes. Well, actually, I say that there is a source of souls. Some souls come from mercy code, and some souls come from the discernment code, and then they have to find, both of them have to find the other part within them, which of course everything is within us, but we have to find it to be in balance, and to bring both of them. So yeah, I completely connect to that, and I think that finding sound is one of the biggest gifts that humanity received. Using sound as a remembrance tool or healing tool, connecting and helping us to merge all these parts of us, if this is the mercy and the discernment, or if it's the soul and the body of, so actually, or the female and the male, actually wedding these two. We're not exactly contrast, and we think they're contrast because we are in the third dimension, but they're not contrast. They are creating oneness together. So you can't have one without the other. You can't breathe out without breathing in. So we need both to have the experience of wholeness. You know?
I love it.
Yes.
So, anything else you would like to share before we end here?
Yeah, I think I want to send my blessing here from, well, I also teach in Europe, but mostly in Israel at the moment. And there is a very powerful energy here, and we are living in very intense life, and energetically, our spiritual work here is very intense. I don't know how it is somewhere else, because this is where I live. And when I've been in Europe and teaching in France, Belgium, England, I didn't feel this intensity. And every time I come to Israel, I feel this, oh, it's really intense. I don't know if some of you been in Jerusalem. It's like, oh, you know, it's like you have to, because it's all religions, all energies. And so Israel is like that. And the spiritual work here is very intense. So for us, music is like, oh, thank you, God, the Holy Grail, you know? And so I really thank for creating this conference, because I know it's expanding consciousness about sound healing and how it's so important this time. And so I wanted to say thank you to you, David, for this amazing work, and to say thank you to the people that are listening to the heart and the soul in this ascension journey and going through this beautiful journey. I know that sometimes it's hard, but please remember that the soul is with you all the time, and it's also for you, with you, and it's working through you. Just open yourself and open your heart so you can feel all this beauty and abundance and love that it wants to give you. So this is my message for today, and ending this beautiful session with you, and inviting people to join me on the Codes of Ascension.
I got an idea. How about we make the sound of embodied soul in the heart? But turn on your original sound so it doesn't get cut off, and we'll do it together. And have everybody that's listening make the sound of it. I'll let you start it.
Oh my God, David, this was amazing. You know what? I realized that actually it was two different frequencies that became one, and it was so beautiful. Wow, what an amazing idea. I love that. Thank you for creating together with me. I love to create more with you.
Thank you for all you do and the stable, consistent vibration that you bring.
Yes. Thank you so much. Toda, hodaya. Thank you, gratitude. Hodaya. Bye bye.
Take care.